Now on to our first big debate tonight. It's no secret that India's intelligence setup needs a massive overhaul. But now a recommendation made by a government-funded think tank has made a controversial suggestion that all intelligence agencies in India should be under one authority, perhaps like a Minister for Intelligence. Critics say it's a dangerous proposal, something that's only seen in authoritarian regimes. But the bigger question is, how do we make India's agencies more accountable?
The 26/11 Mumbai attacks, perhaps the biggest intelligence failure in recent times. Roughly a decade ago, agencies failed to connect clear inputs that pointed to the Pakistan army gearing up for a long drawn-out offensive, and even failed to detect incursions by the Pakistan army, which led to the Kargil conflict. A controversial report now proposes bringing all intelligence under a separate Minister for Intelligence and making all agencies like the Research and Analysis Wing, the Intelligence Bureau, accountable to the Parliament. But it has sparked off a debate within the intelligence setup and the government. Why allow a single person to control and access all intelligence? The report by former Research and Analysis Wing officer Rana Banerjee and commissioned by a government think tank, the IDSA, has proposed a Minister for National Security and Intelligence, parliamentary supervision of intelligence agencies, monitoring of the expenditure, monitoring of technical inputs, including telephone intercepts, and a National Intelligence Coordinator directly under the Prime Minister but reporting to the Home Minister as well. But will it lead to more confusion and multiplicity of authorities? Banerjee says no.
There are turf battles and there are beats of different organizations, and also the need for secrecy, restrictive secrecy. So there is a tendency of one-upmanship between the agencies in giving information or intelligence which has operational relevance. So to smoothen these issues, there should be a National Intelligence Coordinator.
Sources tell NDTV that houses of several senior intelligence officials are often hired back by the agencies as safe houses at exorbitant rates, even when there is no need of a safe house. What's worse, these transactions do not reflect in the books of accounts. And mind you, these are only one of the few allegations of wrongdoing that one gets to hear of. Therefore, the suggestion of parliamentary supervision and monitoring of expenditure is critical. Implementing them will at least send a clear message that the government means business. In New Delhi, Shrudhi Ranjan Sen for NDTV.
So is a Minister for Intelligence the answer? Is that what India needs in order to get its act together as far as the accountability of its intelligence agencies are concerned? Joining us on the program tonight, we have Mr. Rana Banerjee, who has authored that report and made all these suggestions which have come in for considerable scrutiny. We have two former chiefs of the RNAW. We have Mr. Amarjeet Singh Dullat, who joins us from Delhi. We have Mr. Anand Verma, who joins us here in the studio. Also joining us tonight, the spokesperson of the Congress Party and Lok Sabha MP Manish Tiwari, who has introduced a private member's bill on this issue of accountability of intelligence agencies, a bill that was introduced last year and is expected to come up in Parliament perhaps in the monsoon session. And the director of the Hindu, Mr. N. Ram, joins us tonight from Chennai. Let me ask Mr. Rana Banerjee first. Mr. Banerjee, what everyone has latched on to is this particular recommendation in your report about having a single authority with supervisory control of India's intelligence agencies, which, as I quote your report, says could be the NSA in a modified role, the Director of National Intelligence, or even a Minister for National Intelligence who's answerable to Parliament. Now, many say, like Mr. Dullat has, that that's a dangerous suggestion. How would you respond?
Well, we have actually looked at the problem of oversight in a holistic manner, and this was done in a series of roundtable meetings at the IDSA, associating senior experts who have opined on these issues. We have also looked at the theoretical formulations in modern Western democracies, how they have tackled the problem of oversight. Now, why is oversight necessary? Oversight is necessary, one, to assure that legality of the actions and the legality of protection to the intelligence officers is available. Secondly, the effectiveness of the action taken, the efficiency of the action taken, financial propriety, whether there are any violations of human rights. All these aspects are to be looked at through oversight. This can be through executive oversight, through legislative oversight, or it can be through financial oversight. These are the three main aspects of oversight that we looked at. Now, in a parliamentary democracy, the precedents have been either to have a parliamentary committee, or one of the suggestions was that we could even think of having a minister looking at all national security issues at the helm, so that he could be answerable to Parliament. And I do not visualize that this would give him any...
You don't think it would be over centralization of power in one person, that it could, that one person could possibly become too authoritarian, which is the concern?
Possibility cannot be ruled out, but in a democratic system like ours, which is a fairly mature system with
you
checks
think there
and
are
balances,
enough checks and balances?
I think so.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news in your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download it ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.